So let's just go through some of the effects of alcohol on our society. And again, these are figures from the United States, but where Utah has such a problem with binge drinking, they would be very similar in our state. As you can see, number one, very sad, over 50% of all suicides, those committing and attempting suicide, are under the influence of alcohol. Again, it affects your logic, your judgment, your inhibitions. All those things make alcohol, which is a depressant drug and is going to make you thus more depressed and less able to understand and logically think things through. So over 50% of all suicides, and we know one thing that we do know is that Utah is one of the highest. In the last couple of years, we were fifth and sixth highest out of all 50 states, and Box Elder County, unfortunately, is one of the higher counties in our state. So this is very applicable. Definitely affects our society. Next statistic, over 70% of all murders committed, those people committing those murders, are under the influence of alcohol. Now, I'm not saying they all wouldn't do it, but a lot of them probably wouldn't if they could think clearly and make rational decisions and see what the end game would be and what would eventually play it out to the end, what's going to happen and how it's going to affect so many people. Next, 50% of all arrests. You take all the arrests in the United States, and 50% of those, the people that are arrested, are under the influence of alcohol. And then you go to violent arrests, such as armed robbery, things like that. Then it jumps up to 70% of all arrests. Now, I just want to stop for a minute and talk about these two, the arrests, and how that affects all of our society. Now, naturally, it affects those people that are having those crimes committed against them, and that affects our society. But I want to show you another way that a lot of times people don't realize how that affects our society. Having that many of our arrests, the people are under the influence of alcohol. We know, for example, that we let out in the United States hundreds of hardened criminals every day because of our prisons are overcrowded. That means we have more criminals on the street. It also, another thing I would like you to think about is all of these overcrowded prisons have a lot of people in it. Where does the money come from to give them their 3 square meals a day, get their medical cares taken care of, heat the buildings, those type of things? Comes from taxes, from taxpayers. We pay for these overcrowded prisons. Now, again, some of these people would commit those crimes anyway, but if they were thinking more logically and had better judgment and had more inhibitions, meaning there was that, not that lack of fear, there would be a lot less arrests, thus costing our society less in the long run also.